Guys, in this video, we're going to give you a few tips and tricks to help you sharpen up your J-hook rope climbs. Drill number one, we're working on clamping efficiency. So a lot of the times when athletes are doing the J-hook rope climb, it takes them 4 or 5 clamps to climb a 15-foot rope. And really what we want to work down to is achieving that in 2 or 3 clamps. So Colin's going to jump on the pull-up bar here, and we're going to talk through a bad approach to your J-hook clamp. So hanging here, he's going to lift his lead leg. And a lot of the fault here is that whenever athletes are trying to establish their clamp, they drop this leg down and they're trying to help the other foot do the clamp. Now the issue here is whenever Colin stands up, he hasn't traveled a great distance. So he's going to have to clamp a lot to climb a 15-foot rope. Now, what should happen instead, whenever we're climbing the rope, Colin should drive his lead leg up as high as he can, and he should focus and keep tension on his hip flexors here, and the other leg does all the work. It brings the rope around for him. Now, if he was to stand up this time, he now travels a greater distance, so he's now going to be more efficient, especially in like high rep workouts. So the key on this one, Colin, you can rest, is whenever you're doing a rope climb, have your lead leg as high as you can and keep it in that static position. Do not drop that foot to assist the other leg in the clamp. Right guys, on drill 2, we're going to practice clamps on the rope. The focus isn't getting up the rope yet. The focus is going to be on keeping the upper body really relaxed. So a lot of the times when athletes are doing the rope climb, they jump up in the rope and they go into this really tense isometric upper body hold. And it would typically look like this, where they'll jump up and they'll keep their arms heavily bent as they're trying to establish the clamp. Now this is going to really exhaust the upper body, so it's really not ideal in workouts. The way we can fix this is just trying to build a wee bit more muscle memory. So instead of jumping, we're going to hang off the rope, keeping our arms nice and long. The upper body isn't really doing much here. Then we're going to learn to establish our clamp whilst keeping the arms long and relaxed. Only after we have a secure high clamp do we then begin to pull and push with our arms to get up the rope. So if we can learn to be a little bit more patient with the arm bend, we are going to be way more efficient in our workouts. Right guys, in this final piece, we're going to talk about how to get down from the top of your rope climb. So on the way up, we have a nice high clamp, we have relaxed arms, and we're being really efficient. Now at the top of your rope climb, we're going to have our feet on top of each other like this. The first thing we want to do is just pull the feet off each other and create a slight gap between the legs. This is going to allow you to slide down the rope as you walk your hands down the rope. Now, it's very important that when you're down the rope, you don't slide your hands down because you're going to get rope burns. Now, the wider the gap between your feet, the less friction there will be in the rope, the faster we will go down. So, Colin's going to give us a nice example of this. Once again, when we're at the top of our rope climb, Colin is going to bring his feet apart and he's going to have a slight gap. And he's going to begin to start sliding his feet down. But if he wants to stop, he'll squeeze his feet together. And you'll see that now there's lots of tension on the rope again. Tension means that you're going to slow down or come to a halt. And then he can open the gap a little bit, slide down a little bit more, close it again, and once again there's tension on the rope again. And that's what we want to practice before we go into like 12 and 15 and 18-foot rope climbs. You want to make sure you're able to switch it on and off and create and lose tension on the rope before we get to the top. All right guys, I hope these drills help, and leave us a comment if you've had any success with these drills.